this lesson, we are going to be solving volume word problems. And yes, there are 3D objects because we're going to find out how much something can possibly hold. So we'll read the problem, we'll mark the text, we'll mark the picture, and then we're definitely going to write the formula and follow the steps that we need to. So let's read number 1. A gift box is 10 inches long and 6 inches wide. It is 3 inches tall. What is the volume? Okay, well, with marking the text, we have 10 inches long, 6 inches wide, 3 inches tall. And we are looking for the volume. So marking the picture now so you can really visualize it, and it's not drawn to scale, but as long as we label it, this is 10 inches. 6 inches wide would be right here, and 3 inches tall is the height of it. So we've got to remember the formula. So when we're talking about volume, volume is always equal to the base area times the height when we're talking about rectangular prisms. So I know that since it is a rectangular prism, that base area is going to be length times my width, and then I'm going to multiply that times the height. Again, so volume is equal to the length was 10, the width is 6, and the height was 3. Well, we know that 10 times 6 is 60, and 60 times 3 is 180. And when we're talking about volume, we are talking about inches here, and it's cubed. So that is telling us that is the amount of space that's inside of this gift box. And yes, this was our answer. All right, well, let's look at question number 2. Here we have a cylindrical drinking glass can hold 56.52 cubic inches of water. The diameter of the glass, and it looks like it just didn't print properly, is 3 inches. How tall is the glass? And it tells us to use 3.14 for pi. So the key, here is an example of our glass. Let's underline important information. So it is a cylindrical glass. So we're going to be talking about cylinder information. It does give us how much water it can hold. So this is actually right here, the volume is given. It's 56.52 cubic inches of water that this glass is going to be able to hold. Well, notice it says the diameter is 3 inches. Diameter. I think we're going to have to do something there. And now what are we looking for? We want to know how tall is the glass. So when we're talking about, and I mentioned that diameter was there, we need to know that our formula is going to go ahead and talk about the radius of the base. So if we know that the diameter is 3 inches, we know that our radius is 1/2 of that, and that would be 1.5 inches. So now let's talk about the formula. Well, the formula is going to be of this cylinder, volume is equal to base area times the height. But remember, for this problem, notice our base is a circle. So, and I'm going to continue to write over here just a little bit. Our volume is going to be equal to, the base area is pi r squared, and then we are going to multiply it by the height. So it is very important to remember, yes, base area times height, and then just look at the picture and you'll say, oh, the area of a circle. And there it is. We substituted that value in. So now let's go ahead and put our numbers in. Remember, they gave us the volume. So it is 56.52 is equal to, now they told us to use 3.14 for pi. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply that by, remember, it is the radius 1.5 or 1.5, but we must square that. And then we're going to multiply it by the height. Well, it says, how tall is the glass? So I just left h for height. As we're solving this problem, order of operation is going to be very important. So let's just go ahead and we will copy this over again. So it's 56.52 equals, now I'm just copying 3.14 again because I must go ahead and I must square this first, order of operations. So when I do 1.5 times 1.5, I get 2.25. And here is my height, still hanging out there. All right, now, yes, I'm going to copy my volume over again. And now we are going to go ahead and we will multiply those two numbers together. And when we multiply that, we get 7.065. And the height is what we're looking for. Finally, we are going to be able to find the height just by dividing by 7.065. Remember, the height is going to be an approximation because we used pi here, which was rounded. But when we do that math, we find out that the height of the glass is equal to 8 inches. And that is the answer that we were looking for, 8 inches. Well, these two problems both use volume is equal to capital B, base area, times height for both of them. When you're talking about the next problem, it will be different. So let's read the next problem and see what we need to do. A spherical tank holds about 7,234.56 cubic meters of air. Find the radius of the tank to the nearest whole number. Use 3.14 for pi. Well, that word spherical, there is the spherical tank being held in a support system right there. And so we are talking about a sphere, kind of like a basketball. The formula is totally different. So we are going to use the formula that volume is equal to 4 pi r cubed, and that is all over 3. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's mark the text. What do we know? It says it holds this much, and so that means they gave us the volume. The volume was given. They want you to find what is the radius of the tank. And again, nearest whole number, and we're using 3.14 for pi. All right, well, let's go ahead and we're going to substitute in the values for what we have here. And I'm going to just do it right beside it so that we can make sure we can see everything. So the volume is 7,234.56. And that is going to be equal to 4 times 3.14 for pi, and radius cubed will go ahead and definitely stay there. And then we are going to go ahead and notice with this formula, it is all over 3. Well, to start to work this problem and to get rid of this 3 as a denominator, I really suggest that you multiply both sides by 3. And when you do that, notice the 3's cancel out and you end up with, and it's a large number, it is 21,703.68. Again, 21,703.68. And so we're going to make this equal to now, and we can just go ahead and we're going to multiply for our 4 times our 3.14 on this side of the equation, and we end up with 12.56, and it is with r cubed. Well, you do know that we need to go ahead and we're going to divide each side by 12.56 because when we're doing this, we've got to get the r cubed by itself before we can find its cubic root. So r cubed, and it does end up being, again, it's a rounded answer. We use pi. That is equal to 1728. So the final step for this is we do take and it is the cubic root for each one of these. And so we end up with r is equal to, when you take the cubic root of 1728, you end up with 12. And when I'm looking back up at my units, the units are in meters. So the radius of this tank is 12 meters. And remember, it would be kind of from the center. And this is what we ended up finding, that radius. And that would be your answer. If this video was helpful to you today, please add a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more Math with Marcia. See you again soon.